A's Extra.
Welcome back into the Anglers Extra pregame show ahead of game number 22 on the Cape League season. Second time of the year at White House Field, and it's time for the catch of the day. I'm Hudson Ridley. Alongside me is Jake Hanley, first baseman from Indiana. Jake, we're halfway through, a little more than halfway through at this point of the Cape League season. When you think back to the first half of the season, what's the biggest highlight that stands out for you?
It's kind of been an up and down season so far, adjusting to wood bats and different pitching, but I'd say probably that stretch where we kind of went on a hot streak, where the team was hitting and clicking on all cylinders was really fun to be a part of, and I think we got it in us. We just gotta find it, and I think we're right there.
What makes it so hard to adjust?
I don't know. It's baseball. So I took 2 weeks off coming over here. Maybe that played a factor, but it's a different level of competition out here. You're facing guys from different conferences and stuff that you've never seen before. So baseball's a game of adjustments, and this is just a really big adjustment piled into one place.
When you go on those stretches, you had one a couple of weeks ago where just really everything was working for you. How does that help the confidence in a league like this?
Oh yeah, it helps a lot. Just playing free, not worrying about stats or stuff like that. So just finding ways to do that consistently, because when I do it, I'm at my best. So finding ways to do that is important, and this is what a league like that's for, to get ready for next year during college.
You've also got to try out a little bit of left field as well. How have you been adjusting to playing in left?
I've been doing fine. I played outfield when I was a kid for basically my whole life, so it's just kind of going back. It's like riding a bike, so it's not too hard, but yeah, I love first, and that's probably the spot I'll play in college, but I don't mind being in the outfield at all, getting to run a little bit.
Riding a bike, that's a pretty tough comparison. Is it that easy to jump back in and left?
So far it's been fine. Tracking the fly ball is not the hardest thing in my mind compared to hitting one, so yeah, I haven't had any issues out there so far.
Have you played and left through the fog yet, to the point where it had gotten that bad?
No, I didn't think the fog actually was all that bad, even when we were at home. So I think the weather here's been fine while I'm out there, luckily. So we were talking about it the other day, though, when it got foggy during that YD game. We were kind of figuring out what was going to happen. So, but that was an interesting game. Yeah.
Does it make it harder on the infield when there's that fog?
No, the closer you are, the less apparent it's going to be. So I actually thought that game we got fogged out at Brewster was pretty easy to see. But yeah, it's kind of a weird paradox there.
It certainly is. That fog is a little different than Indiana, too. I'm sure not as much fog out there.
Oh, we don't get any. I haven't seen fog in maybe like 3 or 4 years, but yeah, weather out there is pretty consistent.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm a Midwestern guy. I'd never seen fog like that. It's a very strange concept.
When I got in here, it was super foggy, and the next day it looked like a completely different town. So, you learn something new every day out here.
They always say if you don't like the weather out here, wait 10 minutes. It could very well change. Your family also got to come in and see this town as well. What did they think about your time in Chatham so far and their visit in Chatham?
Yeah, they loved it. They stayed at a place up in Harwich and kind of came back and forth from Chatham, and it's like the picturesque Cape Town. So they had a great time here and thoroughly enjoyed pretty much every moment. What's
it like having your family visit during the summer?
That's amazing. Not being able to see them for long periods of time during the summer season, and especially during college. It's a big help to have them here, because they're like a shoulder to rely on, and you can talk to them about everything. So it was good to have them over here for a little bit.
They were here for the game in Falmouth where you hit a double down the left field line, and then all of a sudden a dinosaur jumped on top of that. I've never seen a family in the crowd have more reaction than their family. What was the conversation afterwards about that?
Honestly, I just sent them the video and they started laughing. So, you don't usually see stuff like that back in the Midwest, let alone dinosaurs in the field. So that was a first for basically everybody.
It feels like there can never be a normal game between Chatham and Falmouth this season.
Not a normal game anywhere out here. Everything's got something different in it, and that's the beauty of baseball.
Have there been weird moments in your baseball career that have stacked up anything close to that?
Not even remotely close. No, I wouldn't say. But, for the most part, fans usually aren't on the field, so that's not really an issue. The worst things I see are people tackling each other for foul balls, but nothing on the field of play. No.
It takes some adjustment for sure, being in the Cape League, especially here. Now, you've gotten a chance for half the season to learn from these coaches so far, and reading about you at Indiana, something that you did was hang out with the coaches on the top step of the dugout. What do you think you learned from hanging out with the coaches?
I just think there's little nuances about the game that I don't know. You know, I'm still really young, still only 19, and in high school I was like, oh, I've got the game figured out. And then you get to college and you realize it's a completely different game. It's faster, guys are stronger, throwing harder. So just kind of learning little stuff, and especially when you get up to higher levels, you kind of forget what's going on because you're a little sped up. So just kind of talking with them and listening to what they have to say helps me slow myself down and center myself. And then whenever I take the field, I just use what they tell me to try and improve.
They talk about a welcome to the league moment a lot in pro sports. Was there a welcome to the league moment that gave you this mindset in college?
Yeah. I think we were playing USC. It was kind of later into the season, but we were playing USC, and I was on second base, and I forgot how many outs there were, which usually never happens because I'm a great base runner. But yeah, I didn't run from a line drive into center field from second and ended up not scoring. And then luckily the next batter hit a homer, so I got out of it. But that was a rough little welcome to college baseball.
What was the conversation from the coaching staff after that?
To be honest, Merce, I don't really remember, but I check the outs every time I'm on the bases now, so I don't have to mess that up again.
Pretty good to do as a baseball player, check the outs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, just little, like, stupid stuff like that. It's not even stupid, but just, like, learning to be more attentive during the game is important, and especially with high-level baseball in college and you're in big situations and there's a lot of fans, it's just remembering how to play the game and not making it bigger than it is.
There's been some kids camps in the last week where they've happened at Veterans Field. As some of the messages being more attentive in that way?
I mean, we tell the kids to be attentive, yeah, but you know, when you get in the thick of it out here, you kind of get rushed, or you're thinking about other things, and you kind of lose track of outs sometimes. But you know, so far since that moment, I've been very attentive to outs, base runners, positioning of outfielders, stuff like that. So making sure that doesn't happen again.
Can definitely lose track of time out here. Feels like time is flying. It's already time for game 22 of the season. More Anglers Extra pregame show coming up. But Jake Hanley, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.